It may seem odd coming from a Nord, but I'm glad to see all these Reach folk alive and well. They seem content, but I'm sure they wouldn't mind us bringing them a few more reasons to celebrate.
What do you mean?
News of Rada al-Saran's death won't compare to the dead returning to life, but I'm sure Caddach will be relieved to hear it. You find the Ard and let him know there's nothing to fear from the Grey Host anymore. Tell him he has Verandis to thank.
Aren't you coming along?
Why spoil the mood? I think I'm going to take a moment. I haven't done that since Fenorian and I arrived in the Reach.
Are you alright?
Just fine. Even the great Lyris Titanborn needs a rest sometimes. Don't tell anyone.
I won't. I promise.
Cold. Skyrim was never this cold before. It's the chill of the grave. Something I know of all too well.
Alright. We go and find the Ard. While we go and look for the Ard, I want to say hello and welcome. If you don't know who I am, I'm Violet. We have defeated the Vampire Lord Rada al-Saran and, well, here we are at the final episode of the Dark Heart of Skyrim series. I hope you enjoy it.
We are agreed. If Eastern and Western Skyrim can put aside their differences in the face of the Grey Host, then the Reach can do so as well. Come forward, free hand. No need to bow for the sake of kings. If you'd said only yesterday I'd play host to Nord rulers from across all Skyrim, I'd have told you the dead would live again before that happened. And here we are. A day of miracles. Tell me truthful. You had a hand in all this, eh?
I killed Rada al-Saran, and Verandis restored the lives lost to the Dark Heart.
At last! The monster that nearly brought my lands to ruin has paid the price for his wrongs. I could ask no more, and yet that which was taken has been returned as well. Where is Count Ravenwatch, if he thinks to escape my gratitude?
Verandis had to stay behind to return the souls of your people.
Then, his name and deeds will echo these halls for as long as I sit upon the throne, which will be a while, thanks to you. And so long as these Nords are good to their word. I've no idea what peace is like, but I'm eager to find out.
What sort of agreement have you reached with the Nords?
We treat for peace. Our battles with the Grey Host have ravaged all our kingdoms and peoples. We each seek to rebuild and recover. Perhaps we'll do so together. At least we'll keep out of each other's way. Before we proclaim, I have a favor to ask.
What do you need?
I've need of a counselor. In spite of her treachery, Lady Boleyn was a canny advisor. I need that again now, more than ever. Tell the witch, Arana, that I will offer her my ear, if she will share her wisdom. I hear she's recently arrived to my keep.
So you're making peace with Arana too?
I suppose so. Can't just lop off her head after she got it back. Wouldn't do for morale. Unless she's determined to keep up her fight with me. I'm willing to put the past to rest. Besides, I already made peace with the rest of her rebels.
What are your plans for Markarth now that there's peace?
It's a worthy holdfast, but not so much a city. I would have the land worked, the stone repaired, and the markets expanded. But these are not things my kin have much knowledge in, but perhaps the Nords will share their trade for the right price.
Tell me your thoughts on the other rulers here.
Well, they're a fair lot more agreeable than the she-wolf you travel with. Have the sense to show deference to a king in his own hall. Though I heard enough honeyed words from the Lady Boleyn for one lifetime. The fat one thinks himself a poet.
What do you think of Skald King Yoren?
Skald King. Nonsense. Every now and then comes a king of his kind. One who makes stirring pronouncements and promises that his court must struggle to keep. His grand words lack guile, so I'll wager he can be trusted.
What do you think about Jarl Svanna?
The past would tell me to hate Svargrim's whelp with all my vigor. We've battled and bled for more generations than I can count with her ilk. But this fledgling speaks plain and honest. When she talks of new beginnings, I believe her.
What about Prince Ernskar?
I heard Yoren sired the boy when he was young, but looking at the pair, I have a hard time saying who's father and who's whelp. Ernskar seems shrewd and dutiful, but his father casts a long shadow. A wide one, too.
There's something else I wanted to ask you about.
If you must. Can't have you thinking me ungrateful.
What was I supposed to ask him about? Oh shit. Should have talked to these guys first. Oh well. Go find Arana. Where is Arana?
My ears are burning. Is that my name on the wind?
There you are.
Not even this gloomy old stone keep can dampen my spirits. My dreams hold true. Markarth is alive with joy. But you didn't approach to listen to me. What is it you wanted?
Ard Caddach wants to know if you're willing to become his new counselor.
I'm barely foot to stone and he's clamoring for my attention. I had no mind to stand by a throne when I first started my journey. Now, here we are. The Reach has suffered so much. I want to help restore the land. Aye, I'll serve.
I'll give him your reply.
I can speak for myself. You have more important matters to attend to. There's a friend who's journeyed a long way to thank you personally for all you've done. 'Twould be rude to keep him waiting.
Okay, where can I find them?
There's an out-of-the-way chamber in the rear of the keep where you can meet. Now, I should find the Ard and make sure he thinks before he speaks.
Can you tell me more about this friend you want me to meet?
Aye, I can, but I won't. I'm enjoying the suspense. Off with you.
This friend. Who is this friend?
I'm sorry to have kept you waiting, my friend. Do forgive my ghastly appearance.
Count Ferrandis!
It seems I spoke too soon when I bade you a final farewell. I'm glad to have the opportunity to see you again, my friend. None of this would have been possible without you.
I thought you had to stay behind.
As did I. When I took hold of the Darkstorm's power, I believed it would be the last thing I ever did. It was a force no mortal hands should wield. Still, with it I was able to draw the souls out of the Dark Heart, return them to where they belonged.
Was that how you made it back?
No, As the last of the Dark Heart's power ebbed away, I should have been trapped in Rada's sanctuary realm. But I was forced out. Pushed, I'd say. I fell into the darkness of the slumbering heart. Then I emerged from it, like a moth from a cocoon.
How so?
My soul became part of the Dark Heart, smelted inextricably into the fabric of its existence. So long as it remains dormant, its hold over me is tolerable. But I am bound to it nonetheless.
So, what will you do now?
If I am to be wed to this power, then I must ensure that it never gets used again. For that to happen, both the heart and I must fade into obscurity. House Ravenwatch will carry on without me. Arana will send them here to receive the news soon.
I see.
I have no regrets. You gave me the opportunity to reckon with my past and pay penance. This journey has brought closure to the life of Count Verandis Ravenwatch. I have a fresh start. As do we all. The kings are soon to speak. You should be there.
Will I see you again?
I have no idea what the future holds, but you seem to be the axis upon which this world turns. If it still has some use for me, I'm sure our paths will cross again. Until then, my friend.
Goodbye, Count Verandis.
Arana said they'd be this way. Come on.
Father!
You... They said you were gone.
I was, and I will be again. We have much to discuss, but I will not be returning to House Ravenwatch.
But... who will...
You three have no more need of a guardian. It's time I put the future of the Ravenwatch in your hands.
But you'll still visit, right?
Every chance I get.
They said Verandis was imprisoned in the void, but he's here. Forgive, Adusa. You must be the one Gwendis and Fenorian spoke of. This one is honored to meet you.
Are you ready to lead the Ravenwatch?
There was a time when this one felt more like a nursemaid than compatriot to those two. But Gwendis and Fenorian are no longer helpless kittens. Count Verandis need not worry. Adusa stands firm. House Ravenwatch will endure.
Without Verandis, what will happen to the Ravenwatch?
House Ravenwatch has a long and noble tradition. This one will run the estate in Count Verandis' absence. She has done so before. As for the Ravenwatch, our work will continue. Gwendis is coming into her own, and Fenorian shows promise.
I don't know what I expected when Arana said there was someone waiting to see us, but I thought he was gone. I don't think there's anything left that could surprise me today. Forget I said that. Better not tempt fate.
You seem troubled.
No, I don't mean to give the wrong impression. It's all just a bit much. Maybe I should sit down. Did he really say he wants us to take over the Ravenwatch?
Yes, he did.
Right. I didn't imagine it. The truth is, we were already considering the future of the Ravenwatch after you returned without Verandis. It seems that will bear further discussion. But I'm relieved that the circumstances are different.
You'll all do fine. I'm sure of that.
Your vote of confidence is always encouraging. Gwendis could use some of that as well, I think. Have a word with her, won't we?
Of course. What's my assignment?
You're to endure as much of the cheer and praise as the Ard and his people can heap upon you. And you're to have absolutely nothing to do with evil vampires for at least, I don't know, a day? Think you can manage that? recruit?
I can.
Remember, you're representing House Ravenwatch now. Consider this a diplomatic mission. I believe the Ard was calling for you when we spoke to Arana. He was headed to the audience chamber with the other rulers, last I saw.
Here and gone, here and gone. It's cruel to play with a girl's heart like this. But I'm glad Veranda's kept his promise. Ugh, I'm having too many feelings right now.
How do you feel about leading the Raven Watch?
Great, terrible, everything in between. I've waited so long for Verandas to stop hovering over my shoulder. But I never thought it would be because he's not around. I realized something, though. When you and Lyris told me he wasn't coming back.
Oh?
I can't shed tears for him. It's not what he needs from me. He needs someone to carry on after him. To do the work he can't anymore. So that's what I'll do. Keep his legacy alive. Somebody has to keep tabs on all those pesky vampires.
Let me know if the Raven Watch needs any assistance again.
To that point, the three of us had been talking things over. About the future of House Ravenwatch. And given everything you've done for us, we want to make you an official member of the Ravenwatch. What do you say?
I'm honored.
Don't think it's just Verandas I expect to visit. It'd be nice bumping into you somewhere other than a moldy cavern once in a while. Castle Ravenwatch is always open to you. It's not like we have a shortage of guest rooms.
I'll remember that.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to give Verandas an earful. I think I heard the Ard calling for you when we were talking to Arana. They're making some proclamation in the audience chamber. Better not miss your accolades.
Sai!
I thought you might enjoy a welcome surprise for once, Snow Lily.
Oh, Sai. You always know how to... Oh, hello, partner. Ah, there you are. I hope you don't mind. I got a bit sidetracked. Sai and I were just catching up. Swapping stories of our travels with you, actually.
Was the message from earlier from him?
Brayden said there was a strange red guard looking for me. When I laid eyes on Sai, I didn't know whether to punch him or hug him. It was quite the surprise, but not a bad one. We've got a lot of catching up to do.
Will you two be traveling together?
I'd say being home has been nice, but you know I'd be lying. The Skald King owes me some rest. Think we'll take our leave of Skyrim and spend some time free of obligations. Always wanted to go back to Skingrad.
Safe travels, then.
People like us can't stay out of trouble very long. So let's share a few casks of mead while things are quiet. Oh, Caddach's looking for you. He and the other rulers want to make some big announcement. I'll be along in a moment.
Have you met with Svanna or Skald King Yoren?
I haven't, but I'm sure you can keep them busy for a while longer. Right, partner? Sai and I still have a few dents to bang out of my armor.
I'll go see about this announcement they are making. Hey, Sai. Good to see you.
Finally, the guest of honor has arrived. Let's have a word before we begin. Not a moment too soon. Caddach's eager to demonstrate that he's the equal of any Nord king. He hopes it will legitimize his claim as king of their age. He's not wrong, but he'd look more a fool if I weren't here to keep his temper on a leash.
Seems like you're already a helpful advisor.
That I am. It's a new dawn. For me, for Markarth, for their age. After all you've done to bring it back from the brink of oblivion, putting up with Caddach's arse-headed notions is the least I can do to make sure it wasn't wasted effort.
Does that mean you're getting along?
Let's not stretch the bones of reason. There'll be no shortage of bickering and cursing in our future, but there's trust. So long as we both want what's best for the Reach, that'll do. Best to see him now. I can see him casting glares our way.
I'll speak with him.
Fair adventurers. Come and go as you please. Keep 3 kings and a jarl biding on their thumbs in a crowded hall. Suppose you've earned that right, Rover. Near everybody in this room wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you.
I just did what I had to do.
Simply put, I like that. In doing what needed doing, you brought all the crowns of Skyrim to one hall. You put the Grey Host back in the ground, and you gave us clear skies. At last, we can see where we must go. Take this with all our thanks.
You're welcome, and thank you.
Free hands of Markarth! You long-suffering lot, I call my kin! We've survived another long night, darker than we've ever known. But we did nae endure it alone. Against the Grey Host we found unlikely allies, and put aside old grudges. Together, we not only survived, we flourished!
We owe these miracles to the efforts of all kinds. Reachmen, Nord, Vampire, Outlander. Heroes of every stripe. Let us follow their example. We have warred together. We celebrate together. Let us rebuild together.
From this day forward, we clash mugs instead of swords. Peace and prosperity to all our kingdoms. Cheers to the heroes of Skyrim.
Let us remember them with song and drink. We, the children of Skyrim, we shall endure.
And that's the story of the Dark Heart of Skyrim. I really hope you enjoyed this video series as much as I did playing it and recording it for you. It's one of my favorite chapters in ESO, and I always get the feels after it's all over with. But, as I've said a few times during this series, I'm not quite done with Western Skyrim and the Reach. There are still some side quests, delves, and public dungeons that I want to showcase, so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for checking out this video, and of course, if you enjoyed it, please smash that thumbs up for me, and feel free to leave a comment. Until next time, be safe and be well. Bye!